Hello and welcome to my talk. This is Mukesh, your host here. When we talk about life, when we discuss about life, we see that life is having up and down. There are problems, these, that, lots of things. It's has happiness also. There are people you will find who are positive about it. There are people who will find who are extremely negative about it. There are people who changes from time to time. They'll be positive sometimes. They'll be negative sometimes. Okay. So today, what we'll talk about something which is very much important, okay, or something which will make your life more easier. Not easy, but actually easier than what it is compared to today. Okay. See, life is not a pre-written story, a pre-written plan. Okay. Even it is, according to mythologies, it is the God who knows, it is the Almighty who knows all the next step, what is going to happen in your life. So, for us, for human being, life is unpredictable. But one thing which is very important and which is very, predictable is changes. Okay, that you are gonna face changes in almost every important hurdles of your life, every important parts of your life. You're gonna face changes, and changes are something which are unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. Okay, so the best thing to make life feel easier, live it more in a better way, is to learn how to accept, to face and accept these changes. See, for a stupid person, every change will be stupidity. Okay, he'll feel it's nonsense. Okay, but for a great mind, every change is an opportunity. Yeah, every change is an opportunity, and every change which occurs in a life is actually an opportunity. Okay, you may say that I'm wrong. I may be wrong, but let me give you an example. Okay. A few years ago, back in, when everything was working, everything fine, okay, some countries adopted a policy of work from home. Some countries like Japan and all those things. So they used to make their employees work from home, okay, and all those things. When this trend came to India, when certain employees demanded the same thing from their employers, the employer denied it. Okay, even though there are certain fields in which the work can be done at home, okay, those employers wanted the employee to come every day in the office and do the work. Okay, yeah, but there were certain international companies, even in India, okay, for example, I know Colgate, okay, which used to give partial work from home per week. Okay, it's like 3 days work from home, 3 days work from office, or 2 and 4, like that. Okay. So at that time, there were many Indian bosses, many Indian companies who were very resistant to this change. They were not ready to accept this change. I don't know what problem they have, but yeah, it was difficult. Everything, at a sudden change was not acceptable for them at that time. Okay. Now, due to this pandemic, you all know that work from home is not a trend, is a necessary now. Okay, it is a necessity now. Okay, so everybody is trying to adapt it. Okay, now what happened during this time? Those companies who already had this trend of work from home, okay, they even when this lockdown started, okay, when this pandemic started, okay, they started giving out their employees to work from home, all those things. Their communication, their way of working, everything was effective. Okay, their methodology was effective, and what happened is they put on a great team. There was no communication gap. The technology they were familiar with since they were working initially. They have adapted that work from home scenario. Okay, but those bosses which did not and those companies which did not accept that change that time. What happened is, like, in the initial part of the lockdown, they were still reluctant. They thought that this might get over in few weeks and all those things, or a few days, and then everything will be. So they were still not happy with this work from home concept. But now everybody is working from home. Okay, so what happened for this companies? Okay, initially when they started this work from home during this pandemic, okay, there was no personal communication. Everything is from work from home. So there were connectivity issues, there were network issues, there was people who were not used to this technology. Okay, they were confused about the app, they were confused about all those things, and which is why there has been many layoffs and there has been many losses to the company. Okay, why? Because if your communication is not proper, if your team is not working properly, what happens is, like, you are not able to get the output to the market. Okay, and that is what leads to the fall in the company's value and all those things. So that ultimately related to many other problems. Okay, so those companies which has accepted change that time back then are doing good now. Even at the starting of the lockdown, they were doing good, and those companies who are reluctant, they face the problem. So this is the most important thing. Even online learning, when online learning was newly introduced, okay, many educators, respected teachers and all those things, okay, they since they have been teaching everything offline and all those things, they were resistant to this change, but everybody has now come to it. So I don't say that they should have completely adopted it that time, okay, but you have to learn. You have to learn these changes slowly. You have to accept these changes slowly, modify yourself so that you can pass out these changes very easily. Okay, you can adapt these changes, and it will lead to your development. Okay, so accepting change is very important. Okay, now the question is, how are we going to accept this change? How are we going to prepare ourselves to accept the change? So the first thing is mind. Okay, you have to train your mind on that changes are gonna occur. Okay, these changes can be anything. Okay, these changes can be related with respect to the environment you are living. You may change your house, you may change your friends. Okay, your friends may go, you may lose someone, all those things. Okay, job, career, you may completely switch over your field or whatever changes. Okay, every change is possible and every changes happen. Okay, maybe for a good reason. Okay, a few years ago I wanted to be something else. Today I am something else, and tomorrow I will be something else. Okay, but one thing which doesn't change is my determination to accept these changes. Okay, so we have to learn. See, nothing is gonna be permanent. Okay, nothing is gonna be permanent. Everything is, will end some or the other day. But one thing which will be permanent is this temporariness. Okay, temporary is the new permanent. Okay, similarly, changes are the most predictable thing that are gonna happen. Okay, so first thing about accepting the change is you have to train your mind. Okay, secondly, you have to understand that change cannot be adapted in a few minutes, in a few days. Okay, it takes time. It is a slow process. Okay, evolution is a slow process, mutation is a slow process. Similarly, accepting this change is slow process. Some people may adapt to this in a very quick amount of time. Some people will take time. That depends on people to people, individual to individual. Okay, so you have to assess yourself. How am I going to adapt this change? How much time would I require to adapt this change? And what new skills are required to adapt these changes? Okay, see, one thing, accepting changes or adapting to this changes does not mean that you are changing your character, your value, or the person you are at the core of your heart. Okay, changing your means or changes here refer to the changes that are occurring around yourself. Okay, they are important or connected to your life. Okay, the changes which are important for you to grow in a positive way has to accept it in a positive way. Okay, yeah, those may look negative. Okay, the loss of someone or the loss of a job or all those things, it is disheartening, it is frustrating, depressing and all those things. But if you remain in that state of mind that whatever happened did not happen good, so whatever will happen will also not be good if you don't work on it, if you don't work for that changing path. Learn to accept these changes, by mentally preparing yourself. Okay, once you mentally prepare yourself, nothing is gonna bother you that much. Okay, there will be pain, there will be emotional attachment, all those things that may lead to pain, and that's normal. Okay, that's okay, but you have to be quick with your understanding that this change is important for life and this will help you to grow. So with that note, I like to say goodbye. May you be capable enough to accept all the changes that comes across your life. Thank you.